really nice.
Good.
On the Rhine, that
Okay.
was really good.
Good, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Call this meeting to order of the Planning Commission for the town of Greenwood for November 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We have called order. Everybody give their name, please.
Ellen Patterson.
David Miller. Kirk Westfall.
Michael Phillips. Before we go any further, this agenda that only a few of us received is incorrect. We do not do the Pledge of Allegiance in this meeting. We never have. There is no approval of minutes as the second line. And we did not receive the prior minutes for our last meeting.
No, because we couldn't revise it.
At this point, since we don't have everything that we're supposed to have, I'll go out to public comment. Does anybody have anything that they want to tell us about?
All right, Chad Warren, engineer with.
You're actually on the agenda as a line item.
Sorry.
We'll get to you. We'll get to you. So we have open public comment at this time. If anybody has any issues, any questions about what this committee does. You good?
Good.
Okay, so no public comment. On to new business. We have an application sketch plan review. It's not an actual application, this is just a plan review for 2B's Ventures for a proposed residential subdivision in what we know as the Cove. It'll be a phase 2, tax map number 530-10.00-53.0.1, sorry. Those of us that have been around know that that development was never completed by the original builder. There's been a few attempts over the years, and this is a preliminary plan review for what 2B's would like to do. So at that point, we can turn it over to, if you state your name and.
Chad Warren, engineer with Davis Bowman Friedel. As stated, we are bringing in front of you to discuss, mainly I think at this point, our sketch plan for the Cove Phase 2. As I mentioned, it was part of the original development that was never completed. In doing so, there was rough grading done in the area. They did install sewer and water, and they're both functional at this time. And our clients are looking to move forward with the original layout for the site. And just to get the town's thoughts on it moving forward. I do know in prior research for another developer, there was a preliminary approval for this exact plan back in 2021. They had prelim approval, another engineer preliminary approval on this. But then since then, that's since expired, and now we're picking up, looking to start back where they left off. We do know there's a few hurdles we're gonna have to overcome. As far as stormwater, that seems to be everyone's first concern as soon as we meet about it. We have had pre-app meetings with Sussex Conservation District and Denrick Tax Ditch. They've helped us fill us in on some of the obstacles we're gonna need to overcome. This plan currently shows no sidewalks. In talking, we understand there's going to need to be sidewalks at least on one side of the road here. That seems to be a main concern for everybody. In all, we're looking to move forward with the original design for the Cove Phase 2.
So what type of housing is this? What are you building? More apartments, more low income?
These would all be
What house?
single families.
of what nature? Are they gonna be for low-income families? Are they high?
How many square feet? Is there gonna be an average square footage or?
We're probably gonna be looking at about 1,100 square feet.
If you could just give your name, so
Bruce
it's on the record.
Wardwell, I'm sorry, Bruce Wardwell.
Thank you.
I'm one of the Bs and the two Bs. Yeah, and you misspoke, we're not developers at all, so I'm completely lost.
Oh, okay,
I'm a builder.
Okay.
Now, we kinda walked into this, and I didn't realize we were even near the hurdles we were looking at. Yeah, the idea is to build about 1,100 square foot house. I don't know that I would classify it as low income, that's certainly not what anybody's looking at.
We're
However,
more
based on
looking at-
simple math, it probably will be.
at affordable housing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's more what we're concerned about. We don't want them to be priced out of
Oh,
our
no,
neighborhood.
Me neither. I want them to sell.
Ellen, does that answer your
Does that
question?
answer your question?
I'm looking for the
I
local
kinda
people to
stepped
be
in
able to
there.
afford it.
Go ahead, you step in. No, it doesn't really answer my question, because you know, we had that big discussion with that presentation from several people advising us,
Yes.
talking about what we're looking for the town,
Right.
that, you know, that more of the working, I think they called it the working,
There was, yeah, the workforce
It's a
housing.
workforce housing. So we were looking at people that weren't maybe gonna be getting help to live in that house, but they were actually workforce people, not
Oh, yeah,
outpriced, but then,
Yeah, we don't play typically in that low income market, so to say. and we
It's
don't
not
play
low
in that-
income, it's typically 300 or less.
Oh, that's certainly our goal.
That
Yeah,
that's
is certainly our goal.
affordable working class.
Depending on how all this goes and how much money we gotta spend on putting it together, I mean, my goal was to sell it for about 280.
I mean, you've got a pretty
So
good
in
deal,
the-
you've already got water and sewer. That's a huge
Oh,
expense.
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
How about,
provided we can use
how
it.
about fire hydrants in that area? Do you have to put them in?
No, they're in.
Yeah, they're-
They're in.
They're already constructed, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll have to submit to fire marshal just to get their approval through this process, and they'll let us know if they're in compliance or not, and then,
I know we were talking about, I didn't know they were back in there.
yeah, they're in the ground.
All right, so the other question that was in the, I would say application, but we know it wasn't a full application, was the variances that you're looking for. Now, I know that doesn't come before us, but I want the rest, because we talked about it off
Right.
to the side, just so that the rest of this committee is aware, because that might affect your lot lines.
Correct.
It might be that you need to subjugate one lot to give everybody else more width, you know, by a couple of feet. So if you just let the rest of the committee hear what you had to say about that.
Okay, so, setbacks, the front setback per code is required to be 30 feet. We're proposing 20 feet. The side setback is proposed to be 12 feet, we're proposing 8 feet. The rear setback is proposed to be 20, is required to be 25, we're proposing 20. And the rear, we are leaving alone, I'm sorry, the max building height will stay the same. The other two reductions we're looking for is the minimum lot width is 80, we're proposing 75. So that gets us down to a minimum lot size of 7,500 square feet, where the minimum lot size required is 10,000 square feet.
So this comes back to, this is the original design.
yeah.
When this was originally designed, that was the requirements. So that's what they're asking. Now, it won't be us, that'll be Board of
Yeah,
Adjustments.
no.
But just so that we're all aware, that might end up with
So
coming
would it
back
be
to us for lot line changes.
Off-street or off-street parking or on-street parking? Would there be room when you take that out for people to have a driveway, park their car there any longer?
It would definitely be off street. You're not gonna have any room on the street.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, we would
Where are they
definitely-
gonna park? Cause you can hardly get through there now.
And I think you mentioned there's gonna be a one car garage on
The
each
idea
side.
is, yeah, we'll have a garage and a small 3-bedroom house. I mean, that's what we're hoping to build.
We'll have a spot in the garage and then 2 spaces in the driveway, side-by-side spaces.
Okay.
Okay.
What about the street width?
Right now,
There, our current requirements are wider than what that neighborhood was originally laid out.
I don't have this in front of me. This is
And
showing,
those are county requirements, that's not even us.
this is showing, these are designed at 24. Sharon, do you know what the minimum?
So according to the current design standards for the town for a minor street, you know, with a 50-foot wide right-of-way, your pavement section is roughly 24 feet in width of pavement, and when you add your curb, you're at 26 with your gutter pan for your curb.
Okay.
Is that what's there now?
There's no gutter pan and there's no curb, it's just asphalt.
Mhm.
The current configuration is pavement with roadside swales for drainage.
Right.
And we would be looking to keep with that. Now, I know we'll have to install sidewalks, but we're also looking to do a 25-foot or a 24-foot road with roadside swales. I'm thinking, my current thought was to do roadside swale, 24-foot road, roadside swale, and then sidewalk. So on one side of the road, you'd have a swale between the sidewalk and the road.
Okay.
When the county says you can just do sidewalk on one side.
Yeah, that's in our town codes,
And the
we
county
have to
doesn't
have
have
it
any
at least on one side.
Your typical street section shows sidewalk on both sides of the street.
But it's required on one side at minimum.
At a minimum,
Yeah.
it should be on one side of the street.
I mean, I would think if you were paying, if I was paying that for a house, I'd want a sidewalk on both sides. I'd want it on my side of the street and on their side. I really would.
You better buy first.
Pardon?
You better buy first.
What do you mean, I better buy it first?
You buy the one that's got the sidewalk.
But no,
Does
But
a
I mean,
second
what I'm
sidewalk-
saying is simply that,
Hmm.
that if I'm spending that, and that's not just trash housing, then I would expect a sidewalk in front of my house. Wawa's gotta have a sidewalk.
Mhm.
The two they just built, they don't have sidewalk, do they?
Wawa?
No, the two that they just built in the
Oh,
country,
I don't know,
They
say, I
don't
don't know, but I'm
sidewalk.
saying, we do
none of
in
the
town.
rest have sidewalk.
Yeah.
Well, in the rest of the sidewalk, that is a sore point with a lot of us. There are
And
no
with those
sidewalks.
residents.
And it's
Then people walk.
it's a safety issue, which is, pretty apparent.
Although, I like.
But beyond that, it's also a community issue, because where you don't have sidewalks, you don't have a strong connection with the community. It doesn't work as well. And that bears out in the way we experience the Cove as part of this community. It doesn't have the same connection to this community that my house does on Governor's Avenue. But on the other hand, I'm not stupid. I know it costs money. Now, that would be the next question. Is it a big dollar item to add sidewalks on both sides? I really appreciate that you've got sidewalk on at least one side. That's better than no sidewalks.
We can swing one side.
Is it a big dollar item? Is it a moderate dollar item?
Yes, when you have to go across driveways and things of that nature, yes, it is a big dollar item.
And
Concrete
if I
fraction.
may say, it's more than just the sidewalks themselves that are the big dollar item. When you have sidewalks on both sides of your street, you typically look at a closed drainage system. You have, your inlets and your pipes, which then add to the cost.
Right, right.
Because you no longer have the
Then you're
room.
not getting the swale,
Right.
the room for a swale.
If we did two, it would push us to go and curb and close drainage, which we would run into issues with utilities that are already there.
Right.
And that
No,
would,
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. As long as there's an explanation and
Right.
it's a cost thing, get it.
Well, as long as there's an explanation, I'd like to hear it. I still, what Ellen said is part of it, and the community thing is, what I'm saying, is valuable to have it on both sides. On the other hand, we need the housing. We need to have you guys do something
Yeah,
there.
we do need the housing.
Oh, We need the housing. Now,
And the other issue with the sidewalks is they're really going to nowhere.
Yeah, unfortunately,
well,
both
that
ends
is
are
a problem.
connected to
That
nothing.
is a problem. And it's a problem, for instance, the fact that's what we've lost
Right.
by not having them put in the first time around.
Right.
And it's, we don't have any.
It's nobody's fault,
Leverage.
it was done decades ago, and we've learned from it.
And there are places in town where it's rather annoying, you walk along, and then you walk out on the street, and then you go back onto the sidewalk.
So is there, where you connect at the T intersection, close to, yes, right there. Would you guys be willing to at least work with the few landowners that are between there and Market Street to connect that sidewalk? I think there's one, two, I think there's just two property owners there that would connect that whole new section of neighborhood to Market Street.
Now, what are you talking about?
He's asking if he'd be willing, if we'd be willing to.
To work with those landowners to put a sidewalk in front of those two houses to connect it to the rest of town.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, that would, I think that would make this one happy.
Yeah, you can actually walk somewhere.
Yes.
Well, you don't realize it, but a lot of people in our town do walk.
We have a
Oh, my
lot
God,
of
A lot of
walkers.
people
We had to
walking.
buy a house for help my daughter with a house in Arkansas, and that was, she had that sidewalks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She walks.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are a lot of people that do walk, and there's children, and there's school buses, and there's a lot going on that really a sidewalk is very beneficial.
So I think that's a decent
help, yeah.
compromise if they
Yeah.
can, if those two property owners would be willing to connect. That would make things flow a lot better, I think, and that would help connect that community to
Yeah.
the rest of town. Cause there has been a disconnect with that whole neighborhood. That they,
Well,
and even those
it's
people
not
that,
connected.
those people that live in there just feel like they're not part of town.
Yes, and that's part of what the Planning and Zoning Commission failed on 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And that information was out there. It's not new information, thing I'm talking about the importance of sidewalks, but, I'm glad to hear that. I actually had two things I had identified that I wanted to mention. Sidewalks, bingo, came up before I even had. And the other one, what was your target market and, what size houses costs? And you've answered that
Yeah,
really.
our target has always been the people that live here.
Good, we like
It's
that,
always been,
we like that.
it's always been our target.
Are you planning on putting apartments, like they have the whole bunch of row houses? Where they rent the houses out?
Yeah, this
ADUs?
is all single family.
No, there's no,
Yep,
Okay.
these lots are all laid out for single family residences.
So all the new addition is single.
Yeah.
And it matched the rest of the neighborhood.
Yeah, but Dave, you're right, ADUs,
Yeah.
additional dwelling units,
Mhm.
or auxiliary dwelling units?
Oh, I know what you're asking about. Are there any ADUs planned for the neighborhood?
You don't even know
I
what
don't know
those
what that
are.
is.
There are auxiliary dwelling units. It's
Uh,
mother-in-law
grand-
suite.
in-law
it's
suite.
attached.
Unless you put them on top. I don't know where you put it.
And I'm not sure that it's
Cutting
legal
back.
right now, that's,
Yeah.
those
Easements
are,
already.
Yeah, with the easement cutbacks and stuff, I don't think they're,
Are you
like he said, they
planning
have to put it on
only
top.
2-story?
We will probably sprinkle some Cape Cods in there, just because I don't want them all to be the same.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need a cookie cutter neighborhood.
after I got here, I actually thought of another question which came up from some of the things. What has stopped the previous attempts to fill it out?
Yeah, do we know what happened with Beta Beach?
My understanding is they tried, as far as their sediment stormwater approval, they tried arguing with DENREC and SCD that this development was already approved under the original plan, which was like back in like 95,
Mm-hmm.
that they were grandfathered in. And in talking with
Those things expire.
talking with Jessica at SCD, she said that that's pretty much all they did. They just tried to argue that they were already approved. They didn't do any additional improvements to the stormwater or anything like that. And so once they realized that they couldn't move forward with that, that's when they started exploring other options.
So what is the improvement that they are requiring?
Well, so you have to meet all the current regulations for stormwater. So, which gets into, you have to treat for there's three storm events you have to treat for. There's essentially like a 2-year, 10-year, and a 100-year. You have to treat the 2-year event, which this pond, everyone kind of agrees probably handles that, but then it's the 10-year and 100-year events that you have to safely convey, i.e. not flood. So that's gonna be our biggest struggle with the conservation district approval.
I've lived there 3 years and I've had 2 10-year events.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It's not,
We've had
yeah, but I've had 2 in 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
That's because you moved there.
I guess. But, yeah, I mean, you really don't want people in your backyard, I mean, totally.
Right, and
It comes from there.
we've discussed a couple options with SCD as far as potentially putting another stormwater facility, and we've explored a couple options. They're willing to work with us on it, and they've been down this road the same as we have a couple times, or the same as this property has. They've been down this road with this property a couple times, so they're well aware of what all it entails.
And you've met with Cart Branch?
So that's part of the SCD pre-application meeting is, Denrec Tax Ditch is part of that meeting, and we met with them. As far as changes, we don't have really many changes proposed. There's a small section over here where this, I don't know if you can see this measurement, where the tax ditch comes out here, it cuts through this lot. So we're gonna fix that, they're fine with that. The tax ditch right away, there's the main, which is Cart Branch, and then there's a prong that runs up here,
Yeah.
all the way to here, and actually comes across the road with right of way.
Yep.
We're not touching any of that. We had hoped to reduce this width along here, but they have informed us that they're not okay with that.
I can agree that
So,
she lives right there and the whole back floods,
Well, no, we're trying to get it.
just to reduce the right of way,
They're right away.
not change the ditch.
not
So
just
they,
ditch,
so
okay.
typically, per Denrec tax ditch, if you have right of way on both sides, which we do, you can reduce your right of way down to 40 feet, which just allows you to build. Now it's 50 feet, just allows you to build another 10 feet. When
Okay.
talking with them, they're not gonna allow us to do that. We have to keep the 50 feet. So that's causing an issue with at least one of these lots in here.
It looks like that middle lot's almost cut in
Yes,
half.
it's the middle lot, yeah.
Yeah. So parkland, open space?
ADU, what's that mean?
What about any kind of fencing or private,
Between the lots?
yeah, cause there's a ditch there, but that doesn't stop. And when there's more people and if there's more children, it's gonna be, they come in our yard, they come across the ditch, they come into all of our yards through there.
The only issue we're running with that is tax ditch won't allow that.
Yeah.
They won't allow you to
Can't
have any
fence up
kind
You
of
can't go
consent.
vertical with anything
Yeah.
within their right of way.
But once houses are there, I would assume that would slow
Yeah,
down.
hopefully the kids wouldn't be cutting through somebody else's yard to cross the ditch. Although, we're not gonna talk about when we were kids. No.
A healthy 10-year-old boy will,
Yes,
They'll run through there.
but hopefully another
Listen,
house in
I
the way
lived in
might deter
Bridgeville.
some of it.
For, many years and with, what is that, Canterbury Apartments behind me. And, until they finally built a different thing, we had a huge problem. Then
So-
they did make an access street in there or walkway, and that helped.
So with this preliminary, you've gotten feedback from us. I think probably your next step is to do the same thing with Board of Adjustments. They're gonna have to consider your setbacks. Because they'll be the ones that would approve that change. So you need to talk to them, then make any changes to lot lines that may be required.
Do you think we should go through with like a sketch plan just like this?
I would do
have
the
the
same meeting with
conversations?
them to get their feedback as to what they would and would not be willing to do. Just all pre-planning, it's just like talking with the fire marshal, talking with everybody else. If everybody knows we're on the same page from the get-go, it makes the rest of it a lot easier.
That it does.
Yeah,
Well, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
You know, and people need to have and I think it's important because discussion, people need to have a clear understanding. And in talking, we've had people come and speak to us as a group and as a board, in Bridgeville in particular, where things were done and it seemed like everything was out in the open. And somebody just told us, I mean, they were on the board, they didn't even find out it was a 55+ community until it was all done.
Until the day of signing.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
so I'm just saying that
Yeah, I've always wanted a
you-
win-win-win. That's what I always look for.
yeah,
Right.
it's much better to be transparent about all of this than somebody find out along the middle of the line and then it's gonna get ugly. And I know we don't want that, I'm sure the other board doesn't want that, and I'm sure you don't want that. So it's better for us to have a clear understanding of what it is you're asking, what we expect, and what the next board is gonna expect. And that's what you're doing, and that's important. You shouldn't expect to be able to get an approval until you've done all of this stuff for sure.
So
but
I'd say the one thing that we're gonna want and really ask for is that connection, that sidewalk connection. So in the
Now, who
meantime,
handles it with the other property owners? Is that something you guys go to them, or?
Um,
how does
that would-
work?
that would be you as the builder approaching the homeowner
Okay.
and pulling the permit for them, for their property, to add a sidewalk on their property.
I guess they probably would want that, I would assume.
I would assume the homeowners would want
Yeah,
a
I can't see
sidewalk.
them not wanting it.
And if you are paying for it
Yeah.
to make that connection, I can't see
Or
why a
working out
homeowner.
with them whatever payment, I mean, it would be reasonable to say, look, I want this here, could we split the cost or something like that?
I think they'd get better luck if they just pay for it.
Yeah,
I don't think the property owners.
3
Yeah.
foot,
it'd be 5
4
foot wide.
okay. So that, I know that's our biggest concern, is walkability and safety.
And that is kind of Route 16, I mean, that is Market Street, but it's really also
We
Route
also have the new
16.
Wawa
So
going
we've
in,
got
which a lot of people are
constant-
going to be
And
walking
they go
to
too
the
fast.
local store.
Just saying. Yeah, people do want to walk to the new store.
So I think from our perspective, if adjustments, makes their adjustments and your lots are okay, then we'll do a final review later. Hopefully you can get those two property owners on board. The other end, I'm not particularly concerned about the other end because that goes out to dual highway.
Yeah.
So I'm more concerned about Market Street with connecting
On
with
the other
the
end,
town.
all the way away.
Well, yeah, the other end is way off.
Yeah.
Can we get a sidewalk from there to?
So I think, so from our perspective, that's gonna be the one caveat that we're really gonna ask for. And then, if adjustments won't make as much cuts as you want, I know you're gonna have to adjust lot lines. And that would come back to us for lot line adjustments.
Okay. Right, but like you're saying, I'd rather go in and talk about it.
Yeah, no,
and
no, no.
submit it and
Get a
denied.
pre-approval, get an idea of what they want.
Well, yeah, because if you haven't talked about it ahead of time, then once you submit it, it's a little late to start
Then you
talking
gotta, then you
about.
gotta do the process again.
Yeah,
And again,
Yeah.
again.
it's expensive.
So. I thank you gentlemen for coming in.
Thank you, absolutely.
Yeah. And you're, Mr. Wolfle?
Yeah, I wanna reiterate what I said, we need housing,
Very good.
and
Yeah.
honestly, you've got that leverage.
Yeah.
You're willing
And
to
it'd be nice to
build
see that
houses,
community
it's out
finished.
Right.
Yeah,
It would be
that's-
really nice to see that community finished.
Yeah, it would be.
It's just been a muddy
Yeah.
dirt pile.
And that's-
Well, I mean, you know where my office is, I assume, we're right on Greenwood Road,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I I'm not gonna build anything that I'm not gonna stand behind, cause I'm gonna be right there standing behind it.
I like it.
I guess I
They're gonna
don't
walk down
know.
to my office and.
Tell me a little bit more about 2B's,
Just came up with it, it's Brad King's,
but you said your office is on Greenwood, I didn't.
JBS Construction.
Oh,
Or JBS.
oh,
Okay.
Up on the
got it.
corner.
gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Connections.
Yep.
Okay.
Brad went to an auction one day and got excited and called me on a Sunday, and here we are.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
I thank you, gentlemen.
Well, have a good Thanksgiving.
You too.
You too.
Good holiday.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
By the way, your presentation is nice with good clarity.
Thank you.
So, well,
We appreciate it.
they're
It'll
not
start
always,
getting muddier as it
they're
goes
not
on.
always
Next time I got red lines on it.
Yeah.
That was the only thing was, and that was why, kind of why I had specific questions, was on the variance information.
Right, I
The
didn't
bulk
specify.
standards to match the code phase one, and
Yeah.
I was like, what part?
Yeah.
So just be a little bit more specific.
Yeah, bulk standards is a new term to me.
Yeah.
It'll be more specific next
Okay.
time when it comes through.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks.
Okay, so, and then we have educational workshop on here, but we don't really have anything in particular to work on right now. What I do want to bring up is probably,
Yeah. You can go out the back way if you want.
yeah, you can go right out that door, right there.
They're halfway.
Okay.
Okay. So we're all aware, we have had some changes in operations. None of us received a packet. Some of us got a copy in email.
And some of us didn't.
You didn't get an email?
Nope.
Not that I can find. It's not in my primary, and I even looked in something else and I didn't find it, so.
I did get mine.
That is a change that none of us are aware of. We've always received a packet a week ahead of time, for at least 4 or 5 days ahead of time, sometimes, so that gives us a chance to review
Yeah.
before
I would
coming
much
into this
prefer
meeting.
it that way.
I don't know what's changed. Also, our apparent text change has changed. I will not respond to emails that are sent to my personal account. It is a FOIA issue.
Oh, but do you have,
None of us
do you have any
have
other
a
email?
town email
No.
address.
No, not account, it's my own account.
Yeah, and that makes it subject to FOIA. I'm not willing to do that, so town needs to supply town email addresses to make it compliant.
Or just, I'd rather have the packet.
Well, it's still just for our general communication, since we
Well-
don't text anymore.
I don't like texting.
And you never answer anyway.
Yeah.
I felt like the text was the easiest.
It is
was.
for me.
Because that way
easier
you
for
could
me
go-
than
you could go
email.
home,
I don't care
You
for
could look
email.
and see, well, I don't know if I have anything on that date, and you go home and text me and let me know if you did.
Text was perfectly fine. The town does pay for multiple cell phones. Change the number to a
The
town-owned.
town does not pay for multiple cell phones. The town pays for
There
one-
was,
They pay for one cell phone.
there was at least one for the office. That was town managers.
Yeah.
Change the number, put it back to the system that we've operated under for years. Or supply all commissioners with town email accounts.
Or we can just do paper packets. We can just do paper packets and
That still
telephone calls.
that still doesn't solve the general communication.
Telephone calls.
Well,
I don't
We
like
can
telephone
carry-
calls because there's not a written record.
Well, I'm sorry, maybe this isn't really the position for you, if you can't. I mean, how is that bad, a telephone call, to say, hey, are you
Because it's-
available on such and such a date?
It's not a written record, which needs to be kept. I don't see what the issue is with giving us town email accounts. We have the system.
there's a cost to the town for each additional email that is added to the system. I'm not saying that it can't be done, I'm just saying so that everyone's aware there is a cost for that.
So that's something that needs to be addressed is general communication, either via email that's not personal accounts, or to a different cell phone number, since we can't use that number anymore. There still has to be a written.
Do you have a problem with a phone call? I mean,
Me?
yeah, and David and Mr. Westfall, do you all
A
have a
text
problem
is
with me
fine, you
calling?
can text me, I don't care.
Personally, no, but I have to acknowledge that having a paper trail, well, email or text, is important. Now, I have a problem, what I do have a problem with is getting an email actually and not knowing I've got one.
Yeah, that's why I try not to use email.
But so
before.
so when I do get an email, I need to be notified by, or, you know, we can use, there's no reason we can't use phone among us, vocal form. There's got to be, it's reasonable to have discussions among ourselves. Now, official announcements are a different thing.
But it's not legal, that's not formable. There has to be a record
Of which?
of any of the discussions that happen between all of us.
I'd like to see the court precedents on that.
But there are so many problems right now, I think everybody wants to avoid being involved in any more problems.
Yeah.
The town has, and I think probably what he's saying is, we don't get our feet in the mud either, so we should probably try to do it as,
Also,
but a text, there is a copy of the text. If you send me a text, I got a copy, so, you know, I don't care, but I would like the packet. Thank you, I mean,
Yes.
that would help me,
we
because I
all
like
wanted paper packets ahead of
Yeah,
time.
I
The
need
paper
to
packet
go
would
over
be
that,
fine.
because I came in here tonight and it's bad enough that I can't find my own folder, but I come in and I have no clue, you know, at all. So, and I did not get the email, I'm sorry, I don't know why, I gave you my address, but
Yeah, I did send it.
I'm sure you
I sent
did,
it-
but
I sent it to everybody.
as we know, but if that packet's on my front step, then I got it. You know, an email, sometimes I guess it doesn't work, I don't know.
Well, I know I don't check my personal email every day.
Well, I don't either. I
check
just
my
look
email,
now,
but
though,
but
and it's not there,
Not
so.
my personal email.
Yeah, but I would prefer.
What kind of a cost are we talking about, do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, I would have to look.
I mean, if it's $5 a year for all of it, for one of us, that's one thing, but if it's $40 a year for all of us.
Actually, we all gave our stipends back to the town.
I wasn't aware there was a stipend at all anyway,
Neither was
but
I.
That was before you were here.
Okay.
Because we
Done.
went with Robert's rules, and we decided to purchase those
Okay.
materials. We did turn our stipends back because none of us really wanted them, which
yeah,
means
okay.
that we
Yeah,
are
and
not-
I'm fine with
otherwise
that.
we are not costing anything.
There's not supposed to be a stipend anymore. That's something that's something that was done, but that's not something that's in the ordinance.
Regardless, we were receiving stipend. We chose to give it up to pay for materials,
Okay,
which is now paid for and done. So as far as expenses are concerned, besides the time that we're actually in this room and some paper, this commission doesn't really cost the town anything. So I would seriously like that looked into for accounts for commissioners, not just for this committee, but also for the other one. because these
That's a
things need to
suggestion we
be
have.
kept on record. So at least to find the expense, and if it's worth the expense. As you know, as a part of that last text chain, I have been asking for some records from this office.
And those records are available, and I, as you said now, will not respond to your personal email, but I emailed you on October 2nd and told you that those records were available for you to come in and review.
And I checked back through my email, and that email was never received, as well as the email you sent me with a copy had no timestamp or date on it. I've been asking about this binder for the Rush property since September 24th. These were not, as you wrote back, demands. A request for essential documentation is pertinent to the operation of this committee, of this commission, and their standard operating procedure. I've also asked about your FEMA certification.
I have talked to the Delaware NFIP representative and the Delaware FEMA representative, and both of them have assured me that there is no requirement for a certified floodplain administrator or
There-
manager.
But there is a requirement for projects such as the one that was submitted today for a FEMA flood plan manager to sign off on any work to be done in a floodplain.
What's the authority for that?
There is a training course.
No. What's the statutory requirement there? Where is that?
That was information that was given to me when I called up to Dover.
Well, I think if that's, until we can cite the precise authoritative authority, we're talking about hearsay. And that's, it's kind of an important issue. If
Yeah.
it really is statutorily required, we really need to take care of it. If the basis for our request is hearsay, then it's a problem that we don't need to mess with. I mean, if it's in the town code,
What office did you talk?
if it's in the town code, we need to do it.
So it's groundwater management and flood. I have to pull up the information. I don't know it all.
Is there
Can
any
we-
way that you, and who did you check with?
I spoke with Kathy Potter, who is the Delaware NFIP representative, which is the National Floodplain Insurance Program, which is who mandates that.
Okay, so what about this department that he's talking about?
I don't know who he
All
spoke
right,
with.
I will gather more record
So
on
if
that.
he can get that, just get this,
I am more than
Yeah.
happy to obtain
if he can get that
certification.
information, then maybe you could actually contact them.
Okay.
And if that's what they're saying, my concern is if we are moving forward with this plan, and it's gonna be a huge, I mean, there's gonna be a lot more for us to talk about.
Well, we also
Yes.
have some individual
And
homeowners
consider-
that have some issues in the floodplain.
Right, and so these people also are gonna, when this comes, it's gonna be talked about, we're gonna have more people coming in here for comments too, that we need to listen to, I would think. I can't believe that all the people that live there now are just gonna say, oh, okay, no problem, because we see what the response was on the other side of town. I don't see that it's gonna be that simple on this side of town either. So what I'm saying is, if we could dot all of our i's and cross all of our t's in, with you guys and us, that surely needs to be done. So we can get that one issue straightened out. That way, if you do have to have some kind of certification, you would have time to get it done, right? I mean, rather than, oh, whoops, we can't do that because we were trying to do this. So if you can get that information
I
and
will.
give it to her, it's my suggestion, I don't know if I need to make a motion, I don't think it's a
No.
efficient thing, but if he can give you that information, then we can really get down to the fact of the matter, again, and it won't any longer be hearsay, he said, she said, or whatever, but we'll be prepared, because this is gonna be, this is not This was just the tip of the iceberg as far as I see it.
There are two others,
Two other which,
Plans.
plans, two,
future plans for
for
development.
other,
So that's gonna be another, issue for you as well, or any other dangling things that who knows what Denrick wants and this person wants and that person wants. It's always.
so one way of looking at it is quite apart from whatever may be required statutorily. We need that capability to
Well,
understand.
I agree with that, even if it wouldn't be an absolute mandated thing, it would probably be a good thing to have you have that kind of knowledge. 'cause
Or
you're in
us.
meetings and.
I looked briefly into the FEMA thing, when he mentioned it first to me.
Yeah.
I might be interested, you
Yeah.
know, but I don't know if it would.
Well,
that
information
would
and
meet
knowledge
the-
is good,
Yeah.
and this is only tonight was just kind of a tip of the iceberg of what we're looking at, I think, in the next few years for the town of Greenwood. So if that's true, everybody needs to be really
Up on that.
up on everything, if that's possible.
All right, that's all that we have. Do you have any-
Some old business, we had,
It's,
dealing with his property, we had, made some small changes to the town, and we were gonna refer to, we had to have somebody remake one of the, whatever, I don't know if that's the map, but,
there was supposed to be maps redrawn.
yeah, where is that?
Don't know. That was given to the town manager.
It's done.
Okay.
It's gone through the Office of State Planning, everything's taken care
And I do have one other
Do we
question.
get copies of
We-
those? Did we
that-
get
Yeah, we
copies
need
of the
fresh
new
copies
map?
of the new maps.
Because all we have at this point is the one that's right in there. So it would be probably beneficial for us to have a copy of what it really
Yeah, because there should be,
reflects.
it actually should be reflected in
Does that
two
get-
or
yeah.
three different
Does
maps.
that get his situation
You're all taken care of, aren't you?
all taken care of? Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's just here to watch.
okay, well, what fun. Pray, watch and pray.